everybody, so I'm here today with a Dior holiday release, and this is the biggest palette from the holiday collection that they've launched, which only just launched in the UK. This is the Couture palette, which is absolutely breathtakingly beautiful, I have to say. And this one covers eyeshadows, highlighters, blushes, lipsticks, pretty much everything apart from bronzer. So I'm going to try all of this on. I think I'll try two different eye looks, and we'll try two different lip looks, two different cheek looks. So I cannot wait to try this out. I've never tried one of these before. I have been persuaded by you because I always say I'm skipping them, and you're always telling me I shouldn't because the formulas are so good. So this time I've done it, and I have to say I absolutely love the look of it. So I can't wait to try this on. The formulas did swatch very nicely. So I'm hoping you've all led me down the right path here, and I am going to absolutely love this. I have a feeling I just might, but we shall have to wait and see. And if you're new here, hi, my name is Hannah. I'm 48. I'm not a professional, but I am somebody who loves makeup and beauty. And here on my channel, I show you the latest releases, my favourite looks, and give you any beauty news you might be interested in. If you think you'd enjoy this content, I would be so delighted if you subscribe to my channel. A lot of people do tune in, but not always subscribe. So if you could, that would be so very, very helpful to me. And if you're already subscribed, welcome back. Thank you for being here. And my skin tone, for looking how these shades might work on my skin tone today. I've got fair to light skin with predominantly cool undertones that can lean a little bit neutral, so I can wear warms a bit. And I've also got blue eyes. Anyway, that is enough about me. Let's dive straight into the Dior holiday review. So the first thing to do is look at my swatch video, which you may have already seen, but if you haven't, here it is. See, it is absolutely beautiful. I've never bought anything, and I thought that I bought the Louis Vuitton and that sort of hit the bar when it came to luxury packaging, but for me this is it. This is the most luxurious packaging I've personally ever bought. It feels like a really gorgeous handbag or sort of clutch purse, and I'm sure that's the way it's supposed to feel. It is absolutely stunning. I love the clasp on it. I love the fact that it's got this sort of quilted faux leather, which you can really feel. It's just the attention to detail on it and the level of luxury is just, it's stunning. It's really stunning. And for £120, I have to say, I don't think this is too bad at all. I think the prices for this and the eyeshadow palette, which I've also got by the way, but I'm going to include that in a second video because I am trying to space my videos out a bit at the moment while I'm getting better from my virus. So I'm trying to make them a bit shorter, but I do think that both of them are just absolutely stunning, and the prices for everything you're getting, £120, that's roughly what we pay for a Pat McGrath Mothership, for instance. So we're getting 5 eyeshadows, and if you look at, say, the Chanel Bouton collection, they were over £60 just for one of these that had 4, not 5. So we're paying double the Bouton to get this, but we're getting 2 blush shades, quite a decent amount here, 2 highlighter shades, 4 lipstick shades, quite good brushes as well, better brushes than we normally get, and we're getting this exceptional case. And if you think about what we pay for the Bouton, like when you look at the eyeshadow one, which I will show you as I said in a separate video, that is actually a little bit less than the Chanel Bouton, and you're getting 5 eyeshadows in that one and packaging exactly the same as this, just smaller. So I don't think Dior have overpriced. I think they've even gone under this time. So I think their prices are really, really, really good. And we know it's Dior quality. And this is swatched. A lot of people are asking already, is this going to be that like the Canage quality? Because we know those 4 quads that came out in that Canage release, they were the best quality we've had from Dior in a long time, certainly all year. And they were above the quality we've had prior to that and since. Is this like that? We'll find out, but I do think it's swatched really well. There was a lot of pigment, if you saw in that swatch video, and it was very smooth and had that almost like creamy texture. So I've got a feeling it just could be, but the only way to really find out is to try it. The only one I've got a little bit of hesitation with is this central one here. It just felt a bit bitty, and it took me a while to get my swatch in the swatch video to look smooth. So that's the only one I've got slight reservations on, but we shall see. But let's just look at some information anyway. So on the website it says Dior is celebrating the Christmas season with a limited edition all-in-one makeup palette for your festive makeup look. The palette is decorated with a gold star studded Canage pattern, as we've just discussed, and Christian Dior Paris signature, created by Pietro Ruffo, I'm not sure how that's said. And inside we have a selection of shades revealed, adorned with a star motif. I don't know if you noticed that, but after swatching, the star motif is very much still there. So it's quite an embedded motif. So I think it will last quite a while. And this is inspired by the circus world that Christian Dior held so dear. So we have here 2 shades of the Rouge Blush Powder, which is a long wearing blush infused with floral extracts in a radiant pink and a warm nude. We have 2 glitter finish blushes in iridescent and gold shades. With the eye makeup, we have 5 shades of Dior Show 5 Couleur powders, the long wear eyeshadow with a creamy texture, a harmony of copper, gold, brown and iridescent shades. And then with the lipsticks, we have 4 satin finish shades of the Rouge Dior lipstick, the long wear lipstick, which is infused with floral lip care. And the shades we have are deep red, brick red, old rose and warm brown. So, and it also includes these 2 golden double-sided brushes for applying the makeup, which I think could be useful for the lips. I wouldn't use it personally for the eyes, but for travel maybe you could. I'll show you what they look like. So this is the brush for the eye makeup. So it's not a bad brush really. It would definitely work as a quick fix, but it wouldn't be as good as using your other brushes. And obviously there's nothing here for using for blush or highlight. This one for the lips, probably a bit more useful, I'd say. So I'm hoping I can line and fill with this brush. I don't know if each side is exactly the same. I think they are actually. They're not different, each end is exactly the same. But anyway, I'm going to try to line and fill with these shades so I can do 2 lip looks rather than 4. To keep it relatively simple for me. But anyway, the only thing to do now is to dive straight in. So I'm going to reach for, as always, my Victoria Beckham blender brush and start with the eyeshadow look. So I'm going to try 2 different looks. How am I going to do this? Let me think. I think what I'm going to do is use this on both eyes as a sort of transition. Now from swatching this one wasn't particularly pigmented. This was probably the least pigmented out of them all. Well, obviously this central one is not very pigmented, but it's more of a pop of light and shimmer with that one. So the only one that doesn't have any shimmer in all of these is this one here, which is a good sort of liner shade. So this one does have a bit of shine and shimmer in it, but not enough for me to think I can't use it as a transition shade. And I think this would also be a really good one and done shade, this one, as a sort of everyday. So it looks like we're getting quite a few looks from this, and it's going on very nicely. So can you see the shine, which you can sort of see it emphasising my lines, but not much. So I would say that that's mature skin friendly, and I could take this all over, as I said, maybe just with this as a liner, this as an inner corner, so just use these three as a super simple neutral look. So you don't have to go for the gold or the copper, so you've got your everyday look with this. And also you could think about using these and these for eye looks as well, so you could create a number of different looks if you were using these together. So I would never think of this as the only eye shades to use. What I really noticed when I swatched this was the pigment in these two. They seem quite bold, so that's why I want to try them pretty much all over most of the mobile lid. My only slight concern with that is how rich this one might be for me, whether it's too much all over the mobile lid. But I'm going to stick with using this as a liner for both looks. So I'll take this one. You can see as well the embossing, it's not going, and I'm using it and swatching it, so it's going to last a good few times. So you can sort of, if you get this for the holidays specifically to use over Christmas, you'll probably still be enjoying this embossing for a little bit. I'm going to take a flat brush to try this gold now, and it is gold. Unfortunately I have to deal with the gold again, so I want to see, can I just use the gold all over the lid as a sort of, not a one and done, but I want to let these colours, that is beautiful actually. I moan about gold and then I put some of them on and I think, oh my goodness, like with the Victoria Beckham gold, I love that. But look at this, I'm using a flat brush here. This is a Sonia G flat brush, picking it up beautifully, but look at the amount of pigment, considering this is not a wet brush, I'm not using my finger, this is just a flat brush. And I'm not getting fallout either, but I am getting a lot of payoff. And so this is immediately giving me that Canage formula vibe, because we know with Dior, payoff is something we don't get much of. They're very, very, you have to really build them up to get this level of colour, but I'm getting it straight away with this, so that's really good news if you're looking for that, which I certainly was, especially because it's a holiday palette. When you introduce the gold, you do really want it to pop. Now, I do think it would be nice to have these two together, but I want to show them separately for this look. I might film a shorts reel with this at some point whenever I get a moment, and I might do something with the two together. I'll see about that. So using the same brush, I'll take this gold on the end and run it underneath as well and see how that works. Will it now go all down my face? No, it's not. Gosh, this formula is very good. So I think that was a bit too much though, because it's gone into the area which really emphasises my line. So I'm going to use a Q-tip here to just slightly reduce the level I've put on there. So now let's clean this brush off and let's go into this copper, which is the shade I've been most excited to try because it's beautiful. It does pack quite a punch though, so I've really tapped off so I can go a bit lightly. Oh good, it's not too much. With a wet brush this would be a very, very dramatic shade, I think. Oh, that is a beautiful shade. This is really good as well for blue or green eyes. So this is a palette that would probably work for a lot of people, but it is quite warm, so if you're very cool toned, see how building it up straight away, you see that pop? Yeah, if you're very cool toned, neither of these two shades are going to work too well for you, so there's not enough options really if you can only wear cool tones. Oh, I absolutely love this shade, you know. And it would work well with the gold. But I just want to really show off the two and make them quite simple looks as well. So again, I'm going to put this under. I don't know how well this will go underneath. It's not my favourite sort of shade to go under the eye, but I want to see when everything else is in, do I like it? I'll take my blender brush now and just sort of blend this into the crease. Just slightly going back into this sort of taupey shade here. I'm just softening the edge there. So we have all shimmery shades here, but I would say the taupe is the least shimmery, whereas the gold and the copper, they're not fully metallic, but they're almost metallic slash shimmer shades. I'm not sure how they'd be described. Are they the pearl finish from Dior? But they're really powerful, aren't they? I'll do the same on this side as well. Now I'll take the Pencil Pro again and go into this central shade. So this was the one that worried me because it was quite powdery and almost a bit clumpy when I was trying to, oh, that's nice in the corner, when I was trying to swatch it. So I could get fallout with this, but I'm going to bring it now to sort of meet the gold there. And just there to sort of brighten this part, because it's a nice brightening shade. Oh yeah, that works really nicely. So do the same now on this side. And just bring it into this first third here to soften that copper a little. Oh, I really like this. I'd quite like to try this highlighter shade here. Just pop it in the middle of both of these to see if it gives me that pop of brightness over the look, and also maybe slightly break up the one shade. I'm not sure if that works. No, it's not really, it's too white. Maybe I'll try the central shade that I put in the inner corner instead to do that with then. That comes up a bit more, but not much. I don't like these layered. No, I wouldn't do that. You can slightly see it there, that sort of pop of brightness, but it's not great. Which is a shame, I would have liked it to have done that. So that's the only slight disappointment there, but nothing major. So now I'll go in with the Pencil Pro and I'll use this one under the brow. Perfect shade for inner corner and under the brow. You could also try this one, but it is quite white, which makes me think this is not going to work very well for skin tones that aren't very light. So this is a palette that suits a sort of light medium skin tones quite a lot, but I'm not sure about this one. And then this one looks too deep for me, so I don't know. This one could be a nice one on the eyes though. Not that we've got to that yet. Because whichever shade your skin is, whichever skin tone you have, you want to be able to make this work. So light to medium should be able to buy this and all be able to use it, in theory I would have said, but I think I would put this one together and this one together, and then this one and this one on the cheeks, which is what I'll do after I finish the eyes. But I'm going to take the liner pencil now and go into this deep brown to use to just put a bit of soft line here. And then my sort of classic look that I always do here on this channel and every day off camera if I'm not filming, which is never at the moment. Every day is a filming day apparently, because the releases are non-stop. I do have a holiday coming up. A few of you said you were concerned about how much I was working, and because of this virus and because I'm just not giving myself a break. And I know a lot of you are quite right, and I admit I am very close to burnout. I can feel it, but I do have one full week with my family off in the country doing absolutely nothing apart from getting fresh air and getting walks, and I plan on filming absolutely nothing during that week. So I'm trying to get a few things done before I go, get the releases out as much as possible, and also get some videos done to put out while I'm away. So I'll be communicating with you whilst I'm away. I'll be replying to comments, but I won't be filming, I won't be editing. My camera will not be coming with me. So very much needed. But yeah, that liner is not very dark. I don't mind that. I like a soft sort of brown, but it's not a very dark brown. If you wet the brush, which might give it a little bit more depth, but not a lot, I don't think. So if you've got a deep skin tone, you might want to reach for a liner, a darker liner. You might find this a little bit too light. It's almost like a reddy brown as well. So using it here with the copper, it does give me quite a sort of reddish look, which I'm hoping won't make me look ill. I think it's okay, but I think once mascara goes on is when I'll really know. but I do really like it at the moment. I'm certainly not unhappy with either. So now what I'll do is I'll just pop some mascara on and then we can put the blushes on. But I'll be using today the Victoria Beckham new mascara, which I was calling Lash Clash in my video yesterday. And it's actually called Future Lash. Somebody pointed out for me, so thank you. I'm amazed I get anything right these days. It's just all become a muddle with these 1,000,001 releases. But anyway, so I'm using Future Lash in Cocoa from Victoria Beckham on day 2. So if you were interested in seeing how this performs on day 2, not that I'm reviewing this today, but that's what's going on. So it should be, it's day 3 that I usually notice the difference though, so I don't think there'll be a big difference to putting it on yesterday. And I'm saying yesterday, that is if you watched my review of the Victoria Beckham Cocoa collection, the eyeshadow plus this mascara. I'd say it's lifting my lashes a bit more, which suggests straight away it's already a bit thicker. So it's taken less time to get a bit of a lift. I'm going to probably use this all the time, for some time, because I really like it. So probably look out for this in my October end of month review, because anything I'm reviewing now is too close to the end of the month, so it won't be coming up in my September review. So I've just got one layer of the mascara on at the moment. I might go in for a second layer at the end, but let's just move straight to the blush. I want to establish what sort of brush I can get into these pans. Can I use my favourite big wrapper? I think I probably can. Let's try it. So what I'm going to do is put, as I said, this and this together and this together. So it's a question of which side do I do that. I think I'll go with the light pink on this side. That is very light. This is a fluffy brush, but it does tend to pick up quite a lot of product, so I've really gone in quite a bit more now. Starting to see it, but not much. Can you see that? I can't see much there. I might have to try a different brush. I've got here the Sonia G cheek brush. I think that is it, the cheek brush? The classic cheek. So let's try this, see if I can get a bit more with this. Certainly picks up more than the wrapper. Yeah, that's actually better, and it's probably a better shape for using with this. That's actually quite a lot better. So even though the wrapper picks up a fair bit, this one is just that bit more dense. Actually, that's beautiful now it's going on. It's one of these with quite a bit of shimmer in, isn't it? I would say it really doesn't need any shimmer added, because that is such a glowy blush, and I can see almost bits of tiny particles. I'd hardly call them glitter, I'd call them tiny particles of shimmer really. You can see them, so do be aware of that. That is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I love that blush. The only thing I'd say though is, does this blush go with any of these eyeshadow colours? Because these 2 looks I've done, these are the standout shades. It might go if you just used these 3 neutrals and went for a neutral look, which by the way, if you are buying this in your cool tones, I suppose you could use those 3 and this, but you would be excluded from this and this. So you probably wouldn't if you can only wear cool tones. You do need to be like me really, where you're cool but you can wear neutrals and warms a bit, or you're warm toned. But whatever you're doing, whichever look you're wearing, how many of these looks go with that, I don't know, to be honest. But let's, I've taken my small Sonia G fan brush, so let's try this as a topper, which I don't think it needs at all. Anyway, let's just do it anyway, because we have to try them all. I really don't think that blush requires it, to be honest. So that's just really adding to the shimmer, but it's blending on very nicely. Is that, yeah, there it is. Wow, that is really quite. It's one of these ones that doesn't look too obvious though that you're wearing it. It is quite a sort of natural glow. But is it a little bit too white, even for my skin tone? I don't know. This one's going to be too dark. But I personally would just skip it and just stick with that pink, because that pink was beautiful on its own, it really was. But let's now, I'll just brush off the Sonia G brush. Let's try this one now on this side. Now this one I think goes very nicely with specifically this look, but it would go nicely with the gold as well. Does this have the shimmer in it as well? I'm not sure if it has as much shimmer, but it's a lovely shade and it's blending out beautifully. Nice rich earthy shade that really matches with that copper, so these work together very well. I mean, maybe the best way to do this, which I'll probably do now at the end, is actually to use both blushes. So you could use this as the sort of top part of your cheek and the light pink as the bottom. So maybe I'll try that at the end to mix the two together. Oh, that is really nice. It's definitely got quite a lot of shimmer. It's not going to need that gold on top, it really isn't, but anyway. Let's try it. So this could be too much for my skin tone, as I said, or it could be just right, I don't know. Yeah, it's a bit too gold for me really. It's not too bad, it's not, I don't know. See, when I turn it's just a little bit tinny, isn't it? I don't know. If you've got light to medium skin, you're going to love that combination. The copper, the blush and this gold highlight. You're going to absolutely love them. But if you've got my light skin tone, maybe not so much. You can wear them, but they're not ideal, let's just say that. So there we go, we've tried out everything apart from the lips. So shall I now try adding a little bit of this blush to the top part of my cheek here to see how it goes with the pink if you use the two, because I think that's the only way that's going to make sense. Like, oh, I quite like that. So then on this side, I don't know if it'll show up now, but I'll try and put a bit of the pink on the lower section here, just so they look a bit even, but I'm layering a bit too much blush now. You get the idea, it should look like this. Together, I don't know, do they work together? The pink and that? I don't know. I feel like this side looks better, but I think that's mainly because I've introduced this rather than the two are working together. I just don't think they do work together. I'd love to hear your thoughts. You may have very different opinions watching this, but cool and warm together really. I don't know. I don't know what to think of that. And I think another thing I would like to try is going in with my Wayne Goss number 6 into this copper, and I'm going to take it into this section of the eye so I can start seeing what the copper looks like when it's used with the gold. So I can still do that on this eye really. So I'm sort of putting it in the outer V because I think that these two together are going to be lovely. Oh yeah, that is really nice. Oh, that is beautiful actually, I love that. That's definitely my favourite way to wear this. I wanted to show you several sort of looks ideas. So like we said, you've got that sort of one and done shade here for that simple look. Then you could just go for one or the other of these over the lid. But for me, now I've tried this, I think the ultimate look is pretty much all of the colours together. And that copper, oh that is absolutely gorgeous, I love it. I didn't really take this copper higher on this side either, did I? So let me do that, because I think having it visible there above my mobile lid is really nice. Above my hooded lid rather. And if I can get the gold to show up a bit on this side, I might end up with two relatively even sides. So I'll take my finger actually, I'll take the gold on my finger and put it here. So that both sides, it is working, so both sides match up a bit. Oh, they are really nice together. They are so beautiful. I think if you just exclude this pink, which I don't think worked at all with any of these colours, then this is a gorgeous, warm, Christmassy palette. It really is. It's a shame we don't have an option for cool tones, but I do have that other eyeshadow palette to try, which might be tomorrow or the day after, I'm not sure at the moment. I do have another new release arriving tomorrow, so I don't know the exact order, but it will be coming out soon. I think that's got a bit better, slightly better, cooler tone options, but this is very warm, isn't it? But together, those colours, they are stunning. Oh, I love them. If I just hadn't put pink on my cheeks, I think I'd be really happy with this look. So now I'm going to try the lips. So I will actually try the brush that's provided. So I think the colours that are going to look the best are going to be these ones. So what I'll do is I'll try, this is a liner shade, and I'm going to take this look off. So I wanted to try liner and fill, just so you can see the colours. The brush works very well actually. That's actually a really nice liner shade on me. So now I'm going to turn the side and take it on the side and take this colour here to fill. And this is quite a cool toned pink, isn't it? Which probably would work with this if you skip the eyeshadow shades. These are definitely the more muted, everyday lip shades. The only thing with using this brush is it takes a long time to get the amount you want on the lip. I do have other lip brushes which might be a bit quicker, like the Lisa Eldridge. Is this the Lisa Eldridge? Yeah, the Lisa Eldridge brush, so I might switch up to that. I don't like using short handles either. Yeah, it is a bit better to be honest, but I do think the one provided works if you don't want to travel with your brush. But that is it quite built up, so you can see that this shade doesn't work with this eye look again. That's the only thing that's really baffling me about this palette. Why have they included this and this? Maybe this one all over the lips would work, but not so much this one with these shades. But anyway, it's a nice extra if you want a different lip look, but maybe not with the eyeshadows. So I'll take those off. I'll use the clean end of the brush provided to now line with, I think I'll line with the red. I don't like red all over. That is starting to bug me now. I have my Victoria Beckham lip brush. I think I'm going to use this one. This has a very nice fine tip on it. So obviously lining with the red, I really have to take my time. And you don't have to line with these, you can obviously have them as an all over shade. I just want to show you all four colours without actually taking the lip off 4 times. Because my lips are super dry at the moment. So I think that gives you a good idea of the shade of red. It's not too bold, that's me building it up quite a bit on the outer section of my lips. And now I'm going to go in for this shade, which I think is probably the best match out of all of these to go with these eyeshadow shades, especially with this. So hopefully this will be a good one. And I will use the Victoria Beckham brush. This one, by the way, is number 11. I think out of all the brushes I've got for lips, this one's the best, actually. So even better than the Lisa Eldridge because it's just that much bigger. Oh yeah, this is the right shade to go with this. So this is the brick red. It's got that sort of orange. I've already got peeling on my lips. That's why I couldn't do 4 looks today, because my lips are so dry. I think I need some sort of gloss on top. I've actually got the Cherry Oil Lip Glow Oil here from Dior. So I will put this on now, I think, because I think my lips are looking a bit too dry. This won't really add any colour, but it will give me a lot more hydration. And I'll go in for that second layer of mascara and then be back to show you my final look. So there we are, that is my final look, and I really do love it now. In fact, I absolutely adore this eye look. I think if I hadn't gone and put the gold and copper together, I wouldn't be saying that, to be honest with you, so I'm really glad I did. I think it is gorgeous, but I have to say, as you've probably seen, I think this is a bit of a one look palette for me, because that is the only look I'm likely to do. I didn't hate the other looks, but I didn't love them either. The sort of, I do think this is a nice shade, like I said, if you do like a really simple eye look, so there is that possibility. And obviously we can play around with this on the eye and this and things, so there's other things to be done with it. But I know me, myself, and what I'm drawn to, so I know that the look I've just created, that's exactly what I would be looking for. I would come to this palette specifically for this look, which I absolutely love, and I do think it's giving party vibes. But I would skip this blush, but I love this blush so much that I can see me getting this palette out just to use the blush. But that doesn't really help when you can't use it with the rest, because the whole purpose of this is, can you just travel with it or have all your makeup put away and just put this out on your desk and you're covered for everything. So I don't want to pull this palette out just to use a blush. I would probably prefer to have had that as a solo blush separate from the collection, because it's stunning. This I found a little bit too white, this I found a bit too warm, so there isn't a perfect highlighter option for me. And this I thought was gorgeous, it goes so well with this, but like I said, I just don't understand what these two are doing in here. This section here works so well together, and I'm not really sure why these shades are there either, because only these two really work that well with these eyeshadow shades, in my opinion. You may have a very different opinion to me. So I've got mixed views on it. I do think that the formulas are very, very good. I do think this is giving Canage level quality, apart from this central shade, which I'm not sure about, and this matte is maybe not quite as creamy. But these three, I think they are giving the Canage level formula, and certainly the payoff. I mean, look at them. So if you like these colours and you'll get a lot of wear out of them, and you think you'll use these and these, definitely worth considering. But I do feel I could have got so much more if they changed these. I think it all just needed to match up. They maybe should have a warm one and a cool one. You don't want one that does both. Not try to add the odd sort of cool tone in and then not know how to use it with everything else. I find that a bit odd. But for me personally, I'm happy with it because I can create this look, and if this would be a Christmas Day look for me, quite happily. It's beautiful. And this lip is quite bold, isn't it? But I really like it, and I love the cheeks, so I'm very happy with the look. But I do think we should have more cohesive colours. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. Packaging, best ever, ever, ever. Apart from it's white, so have I managed to get marks on it already? No, so maybe I should put it away and keep it safe, keep it on display. But yeah. I really love the packaging. It's such a lovely experience, and I do think it's great value really how much you're getting for the amount you're paying. I just wish we had colours that work together better, but there we are. I've moaned enough about that. Overall, I'm delighted with this look, and I would love to hear your thoughts. Have you picked it up? Are you putting it on your wish list? Have you bought this in previous years? Do you think, what's it been like in previous years? Because I've never tried these before, and I'm glad you've pushed me to try it, because I do think the quality is excellent, and I've really enjoyed the whole experience. I really have. But I would love to hear from you. In previous years, were they a bit more cohesive than this, or do you think it is cohesive? Whatever your thoughts are, I would absolutely love to hear them. But this hasn't put me off them, and it's made me think next year I will definitely be keeping a close eye on them again, because it is beautiful. So anyway, those are my thoughts, and I can't wait to hear yours. And if you've enjoyed this video, please do hit the like button, and if you're not subscribed, I would love it ever so much if you did. But if you already are, thank you for being here at the end of another review. I really appreciate every single one of you, and I do hope to see you all again for my next review, which will either be the eyeshadow to match this or the Patrick Tar duos. They're the two next reviews coming up here on my channel. I'm not sure which order. Maybe you should tell me, which one do you want to see next? Do you want to see the Dior one or the Patrick Tar duos? Because they're both going to be here tomorrow. Anyway, I shall hopefully see you then. So take care everybody. Bye.